Chicago's population is dropping fast. If you check out this, Chicago area loses population for a third year in a row, third worst loss among big metros. And if you look at this, in 2023, Chicago lost almost 17,000 people. It's the number 3 loser city. And we're not talking about 2023, but 22, 21, 2020. And these are all years where Chicago is having a massive exodus of people. It seems like everyone seems to be going to Texas. A lot of people are also going to places in Florida like Tampa and Miami are also gaining a lot of people. Many people are just feeling very disconnected from the current Chicago administration. People feel like Chicago is just spending millions and millions of dollars on the migrant crisis. Crime is rampant. It's hard to open businesses here. And I can't imagine anyone opening a small local business in Chicago. It has to be super difficult. Guys, some of the biggest firms are now leaving Chicago for Miami. Look at this, second big investment firm may be leaving Chicago for the sunshine areas. Now, if you look at this, industry reports one of Chicago's largest money management firms, Guggenheim Partners, will be the 6th large company and second investment firm to move out Illinois in the past year. Many of these firms are sick and tired of Chicago. Chicago's crime rate is so high to the point that even nice buildings like these and also high-end condo buildings get shot up and robbed. And the south side of Chicago is basically the purge. You have food deserts everywhere. And like I said, the current administration, they don't care anything about the crime. The crime is still super high. In fact, they're spending so much time and resources and money on the migrant crisis. Everything else is basically plunging into chaos. And when business is getting really bad and you're implementing high taxes on commercial real estate, for example, and many other taxes that are being hiked up, no wonder these big investment firms now are sick and tired of Chicago and they are leaving. Ken Griffin, one of the biggest guys to move out of Chicago. This guy is head of Citadel and basically sees Miami replacing New York City one day as the finance capital, not just in America, but maybe even the whole entire world. And Miami is becoming Wall Street South. They're already hosting different conventions in the financial department. Now in Miami, when you walk down the streets, it's no longer just influencers and celebrities. It's now hedge fund managers, fintech, rich guys who are in the banking industry. All these different guys are coming to Miami at the expense of Chicago and New York, which are traditionally known as some of the biggest finance capitals in the world, but of course with rampant crime and of course with the city not really caring much about local businesses and big businesses, this is in a bad environment. And I think a lot of people after the pandemic started noticing they don't have to stay in Chicago. They don't have to stay in Manhattan. They could go elsewhere, and there's other better places. Some are going north to Toronto, some are going south to Miami. And it seems like Chicago and New York City are both getting their businesses stolen by these newer cities who actually focus on small businesses. We're also seeing a lot of burglaries happening. A few days ago, between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., at least 3 liquor stores, a cosmetic shop, and clothing store were all burglarized. It is a string of burglaries and it happens all the time. Business owners are literally asking the leader of the city and the rest of the city to help them out. They can't keep having their businesses stolen like this. Look at this. The Galleria Liquors in Southport Corridor has been broken into 4 times this month. We're not talking about 4 times this year. 4 times this month on an average of once per week. He's saying that his store is constantly being targeted and it's very disheartening to see. And of course, if you're getting broken in this many times, it gets to a certain point where you're just going to close down your shop and move away. But is the city caring? No. And this really sucks for the business owners. It's not just going to be the big guys, it's also the small guys. When your establishment constantly gets robbed, constantly gets burglarized, this just becomes a place where you just constantly lose money. Business may be good, but you're constantly being robbed and eventually you shut down. And many of these small business owners are going to have to start over from scratch in a different city if this keeps up. Crime is so rampant. A lot of the Chicago PD guys can't even handle all of this. Not to mention there's a big police officer shortage in many of these cities. And I think Chicago's done for. No wonder the population is dropping like a rock. Many business owners, many accountants, many doctors, many financial guys, many guys in the accounting industry, they're all leaving Chicago for better cities. And like I said, seems like the Florida, Houston, and the rest of Texas climates are so much better for business. Even Vegas, which is traditionally not known for tech and finance, it's known for gambling, is even getting a lot of these companies from Chicago, New York City, and San Francisco.